Should I watch it on YouTube or Facebook?
Any, mini, miny, mo. Any, mini, miny, mo. Any, mini. I would say YouTube to give us more extra views.
I'm not watching ourselves for the views. I'm watching for the customers, for the guests. Fucking guy.
You got an address in there? All I've got is a card that says Monique DiCarlo, 210 Bleckman Street. That's the red light district. Wonder why Savage is hanging out down there.
Sex, Frank?
No, not right now, Ed. We got work to do.
Yes, good afternoon, Sade. Indeed. Well, it certainly seems now that the nurses union has settled on a contract. There is only one other contract to settle in the city, and that is with the bus operators and train operators of the TW Local 100.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be taking this mistreatment no more from the transit, dog. All the years, all the other different unions be getting, top raises, a lot of percentages and everything, but that ain't gonna happen.
Well, as long as I think it's a fair wage increase and, our benefits don't change too much, I could see myself voting yes on a potential contract. Yes, after speaking with several transit workers here, it is in full agreement that it's time for the MTA to put up or shut up. Reporting live from the East New York section of Brooklyn, I'm John Savio for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
What's up, everybody?
What's good, peoples? What's good, peoples?
Welcome to another Two Transit Misfits. This is our 158, show 158 for those of you that are keeping track. What's up, Blunt?
What up, Pete? What's good,
All right, bro. You got to tell me something about your attire, man. Don't tell about the attire because I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
My attire. Oh man, I got this from this spot on Facebook, man. Melanated, I think is what it's called. I feel
I wasn't ready. It's like,
I sure wasn't ready. Yeah, they got a lot of different attire like this, African American attire, African American inspired attire, and I kind of love this look. So I got a couple of different sweaters from them and stuff, man. Yeah, I love it, man. That's
cool. Looking good, man. Looking good. All right, so guys, today we are as usual. Why is that doing that? Are we on? Yeah, we're on. As usual, we've started going live only on YouTube, but when we have guests, we are right now live on our YouTube channel. We are live on our Two Transit Misfit Facebook channel and on our sister page, Next Bus Please, for the transit members. So today we're going to have a special guest. He will join us soon enough. He's got a lot of his mind he wants to talk about. So this is kind of a transit kind of thing today. And he will be on with us shortly. But let's get right to it, Blunt. We had a couple of stories we wanted to bring up.
Yeah, before we jump into it, the real shebang.
Okay,
just want to give a quick shout out to the people who made and sell these sweaters. You could get them on Facebook. They call Melanful.
There we
go. That's their Facebook page right there. They have plenty of different shirts and sweaters and stuff like that are really nice. So go check them out. Let them know Blood sent you. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yes, sir.
So we got an issue that we ran into I ran into an article, and the funny thing about what we do as operators, what you guys do as bus operators and transit workers, is that your experiences are pretty much shared everywhere around the world. And one of the experiences that we share with our UK brethren is operators having limited use to bathrooms.
That is a huge
Right, and I
problem that
know
we
we
have.
have that issue here. We talked about that plenty of times on the show. We even mentioned to have if the union could have buses put up
Yeah, we
at
threw
the ends of
ideas out
certain
there.
lines. We do plenty of ideas out there,
Not
and
that they listen
and it
to us,
seems that, but we put the bug out there, right?
Mhm.
And our friends, our brethren in the UK, they go through the similar things. He says his bus driver admits some are forced to wee and poo themselves while on duty.
That is
This is
crazy.
I don't know if we ever got to that extreme where
They need the
we
local
have
100 over there. At least we don't have that issue
right. Like I don't know
like
if I
that.
heard anybody on our side with that issues, but they talk about how they they have this thing that they do over there where the operators travel with newspapers and they put it on the seat. I seen something similar to that here at our depots where operators carry garbage bags and place them over the seats. And a lot of us, well, I know I used to carry my own cushion,
Yep.
so a lot of us would carry our own cushion because we have encountered. I'm pretty sure you have encountered a couple of stink seats or two, and that's just not something you want to sit on and sit down and that air just comes rushing up. You're like, oh God, is
Right.
that me? Or what the hell is what died? So you don't want to be sitting on that. Ever since that happened to me, I started buying my own lumbar supported seat cushion, and I carried my disinfectant and all that stuff. But never to the point where I heard
Wait,
any of our operators.
I had an issue where it was a feminine thing where I went to sit down and I just happened to have a paper towel. It just the way it happened, paper towel. I was going to clean the windows and it fell on the seat. So I went to grab it, and when I picked it up, it was red.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
And that was one of the issues they have there. That she in the article they say how some women are at the point where they catch their period and it comes down in the seat.
yep. But we have
I
those
I
issues.
I
That's why we gotta have those cushions.
I
But
know
what they're having there, it's like what are they? They gotta wear diapers too? What was it?
some of them wear diapers, but it's points where they just actually go ahead and poop on the seat
What
on
part of the
themselves. I
UK? I
mean,
wonder where was
if
this at?
it's this was in London. This was in London.
Because not to be able
It
to
says
use the
bus
bathroom
operators.
to the point that you gotta go on yourselves, that is crazy, bro. That's one thing I'm glad that we don't have that issue. Mr. Vasquez says technically the seat covers are for the women. Also, those seat covers that we have, we got the plastic ones that go over the seat. I usually don't put the bottom one. I just shove it under the back of the seat because I have my cushion. But because I feel like that's if it's hot and you're sitting on that plastic, it's not a good look.
I would put the plastic down and then sit on my seat cushion
I
on top of
try,
the
but then
plastic.
it's kind of slippery. I guess depending on the cushion you have. It's like you step on the brake and it's like whoop, you slide a little bit. So what else we got about that?
Over here, she says here in the article that the bus driver admits to some of her colleagues have been forced to go to the toilet in their seats because lack of toilets on their routes. Man, I mean, I don't know, man. This is
Like I'm saying, we have a lack of toilets also in a lot of our routes, but we have the choice that we could just say, "Listen, I got to go back to the depot." But I don't know what kind of union they
I'm
have
gonna
that doesn't, something as simple as that, a bathroom break,
right.
not to be able to
I'm
have a
I'm
bathroom break.
I'm gonna leave a link to this article in the subscription in the description so that if you want to read it, you can read it and
She said many routes do not have
Just
toilets, forcing drivers to take drastic measures. That
yeah. That's I don't know. Maybe you women can help because I can't speak on women's issues here. But don't you, for what I understand, the women keep track of their cycle, right? So
mhm.
when you know your cycle is coming, uh, don't you prepare for that with like panty liners or stuff like that to keep just in case, especially when you have a job like we have when you're on the road most of the time. So I mean, I don't know. You got to make me understand this because I don't know what that's about having it come through like that. That's I think that happened in school when we was in junior high school, but that's understandable because
Mhm.
they don't, they at the transition when they're turning from girls to women, so they don't really know when it's going to hit them the first
Yeah,
time.
that first
But
time.
as a grown adult, don't you keep track of your cycle and you carry enough products to prepare
You
yourself
would
for
think
that?
that. You would think that,
Yeah.
especially when you're an
I don't
adult.
know. You women hit me up. Women hit me up. The claim. Oh,
There go
the
Eric
claims
trying to
happen
get
too.
some women to hit him up using the old Aunt Flo coming so he could get some digits.
Gotta put that up there. Gotta put that up there.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay. So Roddy says some women are irregular. Okay. If you're irregular, then you know you're irregular, right? So you should always have some emergency materials in your purse. You know you're irregular, right?
exactly. That's like
So if you're not sure that it's today or tomorrow, then put the panty line on. It's better to have it on and not need it, and not have it on and need it, right? Hopefully you're not a heavy flow, so you don't have that big bulkiness going through.
so Blunt is
Anyway,
stretching his
let's go.
boundary. Not only are we gonna
Let's go to
have
the next
the
one.
Bluntronomus giving out
Let's go to
uh you know what do you call it?
relationship
Relationship
advice.
advice.
Jesus
But
Christ.
now he is talking to the women, telling them how to be prepared, better prepared when they get their on flow. Unreal, bro. You just stretch. You're just filling out all gaps right now.
So let's go ahead and move on. I think I buried myself enough on that one. Let's move on. We have another issue that we want to talk about. This is
Here we
actually
go. Here we
canceling.
go. Here we got a good name for you.
GY. Yeah, send the pictures in, please. I
He will
can.
give you his own. You gonna now? You could do that over pictures. Oh, that is awesome that you brought that up, guys. Make sure you stay on for the Blunt Anonymous episode when we come back later with the questions for Blunt about relationships. Because now that you just mentioned that, that's one of the questions I have for you.
Oh, okay. Very good.
All
Very good.
right.
Before
Yeah,
we get
yeah.
to that, let's talk about this new. It's not new, but the finally approved by the new. What's her name? Hochul, Governor
Hochul. Hochul?
Hochul.
I
Hochul.
don't even know.
Hochul. I think it's Hochul.
Hochul? Hochul. I think
But
it's Hochul. Yeah.
Hochul.
I think we
Yeah.
finally we both got
So
it right.
she's moving forward with the light rail project. See, I
Wasn't
forgot
this
to.
like a year ago? Or was it 2 years ago they were talking about this?
It's like 2 years ago they were talking about it, and they finally going to actually. She gave the green light to actually go forward with this. Now, you guys going to have to chime in on this with us because
Yes.
I kind of have mixed feelings about this because on one hand, um, this actually takes away from bus operators, right?
Does it?
It kind of takes away from bus operators because this new route that they're having, let me put it up on the screen. It goes through from Bay Ridge to Queens, Roswell
No,
Avenue.
looking
What's
at the
that? What's
map
that
right
right
now,
there?
they changed it. They changed it
Well, that's what they're
drastically
going
because
through.
it was going.
Yeah, going through Red Hook right before,
Yeah, you
right?
see where's the Brooklyn Army Terminal? It was going like
Mm,
throughout the whole waterfront up to
right. No, no, this
Astoria,
is
I think it was. So now they went like towards the
Jackson Heights. Going to Jackson Heights.
yeah, but they're still not
This
letting
is
all those
the new
people
route.
out all the way on the far left. Supposedly, it was supposed to bring them closer by the waterfront, and I guess they changed it. All
Right.
right,
This is
so
probably
okay, so yeah, that could be bothersome now, like you
right.
said, as
So I
far as
mean,
our bus routes.
right, because it's going to be taken away from bus drivers' jobs. So I mean, that's how I feel. I could be wrong. You guys can correct me on that, but I feel like it's going to really interfere with bus drivers' job. Also, the good part about it is that it really connects a lot of different intersections, different bus routes and train routes
Mhm,
on that one line, and it goes through some parts of the neighborhoods that don't really have um transit in there.
mhm.
So that's the good part. But you guys got to let us know what you feel about that, how you feel is going to impact you if you with it or not.
And who's
But
running that?
either way,
Because is it
right? Who's going to
is
know?
that going to be something open for bus operators where, like, when we could pick a route out
Well,
to
it's a
do
rail
that?
thing, so I think that's more a
Oh,
train
subway.
operator's job than a bus
Okay, so
operator.
it's probably gonna be
Well,
something
it's
for
going to be a
them.
light rail, so it's going to be upstairs. Yeah, it's going to like the old London towns. They have that. It's upstairs, but it's like on rails.
So like in
It's a little different.
California, like what do you call it? The trolleys, like a trolley kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, like a trolley type thing. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I know you guys got to weigh in on that. I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know how good or bad that is, but either way, it's gonna happen. So
Hopefully, a
be
union will
prepared.
step up and fill us in on that situation.
If it's gonna benefit the train operators, then it is what it is at this point. Because
Hmm.
honestly, downstairs is losing positions now because of technology. So it'd be great for them to at least gain one for technology. So I mean, that'll be a good even trade off, Except these people got to step up, instead
Yeah, I'd
of
like to hear
we
from the
told you
subway guys. Anybody in the subways that could
right,
chime in
right.
and let us know how you feel about this.
And I'd like to hear the union what they feel about that. Where they stand on this thing, and especially from the members. So and that's a good segue for our guests to come in. But we get to do our Nostradamus thing, Blunstradamus.
Yes,
What we
yes, we
doing?
are, folks. As we've been doing this couple of weeks, we have Blunt that is answering questions about relationships. So you guys send your questions to my email, which is it's a new email, so I keep forgetting it. It's the original Brooklyn Pete, I believe it is, the real Brooklyn Pete. Send your email to therealbrooklynpete@gmail.com with your questions about relationships, and Blunt is going to answer them the best way possible, his own way, given his manly view. All right, guys, this is all for fun, folks. It's all for fun. But send your emails, and today we're gonna have two questions. Without further ado, let's bring in um, Mr. Blunstradamus. Blunst. I can't.
What's good, Brooklyn Pete?
I can't. I can't look at you, bro. I can't look at you. Blunstradamus,
You
how
can't
are
be in
you
character,
today?
bro. Hey, what's good, Brooklyn Pete? How are we doing today?
We're doing
I
good.
heard you got some new questions for me.
Yes, Mr. Blunstradamus. We have a couple of
Oh,
questions for you. And the first one is from a question you answered on the last show. So
oh, okay.
I'll just fill you in with that question real quick. Where is it? It's not good if I don't find it. The question that you answered last week that was sent to us by Loyal to My Love 619 was asking, and I'll read it again. You already answered, but I'm going to read it because then I got the second one to that, which was, um, if you are in a relationship and one person is single and the other is married, is the single person expected to be loyal, or is it okay for both to see other people? And if you guys have watched the last show, you go back and get the answer to that. So somebody said this: Dear Two Transit Misfits, I have a question regarding last week's relationship question about one person being single and one married. You, the person asked if the single person is expected to be loyal, or is it okay for both to see other people? My question is the other way around. The person that is married who's seeing the single person, does he or she is he or she expected to be loyal to the single person they're seeing?
Yep. They're expected to be loyal because you know why? A lot of these people who, a lot of these people who go out with people that are married, they go out with them because that's what they want in a relationship. They want that person to be who's already loyal to that other person, but they want to come in and they want them to be loyal to them also. Can you figure that out?
It's a little hard to figure out, but yeah. So you're basically saying that the married person on there should be loyal to the single one. Again, in a way, I
They're
mean, if
expected.
he is married, but
They're not going to be loyal because they already have somebody they're supposed to be loyal to, but
yeah,
they're expected to be loyal. I'm just saying, can you go figure that? Because if the married person who's dating somebody else gets caught by that other person dating somebody else, there's going to be major problems.
isn't it how it always is? Thank you, Blunsteramas, for that. That's our first question. We got one more for you. You got time? Yeah,
One
you
more,
good? You
I
good?
have to charge you extra.
Okay. Well, bill it. You know what? Bill it to Blunt. Bill it to Blunt. And I have another one here. Here we go.
It's fucking hot in this wig.
This is good. All right, Blunt. All right. A woman finds out that her husband or boyfriend is having a birthday party for his side chick. What should she do? Should she confront him when they are alone or show up to the party with the gift? If she shows up with a gift, what should he do?
I'll say show up to the party with a gift. Now, what should he do? Run. Run like hell. Let them figure that out.
So you said she should bring up a gift.
Absolutely. Show up to the party with a gift. Don't let him know you coming. Show up to the party with a gift. And what he should do is run. Because you caught, buddy.
Mhm. Now let me ask you to that. What I'm just adding. This is not in the email, but what do you think would be a good gift?
For the child? What does she
No,
do?
it's a birthday
For her to
party for
bring?
the side chick.
For the side chick.
For the
Oh,
side
some
chick.
condoms. I mean, you don't want your man going raw dog on the side chick, right? You want to make sure it got protection.
There
Bring some
you go.
condoms.
There you go, folks. That's another segment of I keep forgetting the name the name we're going with. Blunstradamus.
Relationship advice with
Blunstradamus.
Blunstradamus.
Relationships with Blunstradamus.
Make sure you send your questions to the real Brooklyn Pete at gmail.com and get your advice from me. And you could tell them if you like them or you're not. Because if you don't like them, you can go to hell. But okay.
All right,
And
guys.
we'll be
So
right
now
back right after this.
after this.
Spread the word. Spread the word.
All right, folks. So we're gonna bring in our guest, which I see is in 2 cameras. Let's hope that I bring in the right one. Here we go.
Yeah.
What's up, Mr.
Yeah.
Whittaker? Is it the wrong
And no
camera?
sound.
Because you're muted.
And no sound.
You gotta unmute yourself.
Your mic is off.
Your mic is off.
The other one. Do the other one. Do the other one. Pete.
Oh, there we go. He switched
No.
it. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Switched the wrong one. Yeah.
there we go.
Good
that's
evening.
good.
How are you guys?
AT&T.
What's up? What's up?
What's
Beautiful.
good, Rob?
Hey,
What's good,
I
Rob?
gotta say that's a beautiful grand piano you got back there.
Gee, thanks. I'll have to try to package it up and send it to you.
Yeah. Blanc could probably do their little bars on that for an intro or something.
Yeah,
Very good, very good. So, Mr. Whittaker, again, welcome to our show. It's the first time you've been on our show. To those people that don't know you, well, you are working out of Gleason, but give us in a shell. What is it? In a nutshell. Let the people
Correct.
know who
In a
you
nutshell,
are,
correct.
your position.
Okay, well, my name is Rob Whittaker. I'm a bus operator of 15 years with the MTA. Going to be starting 16. I started at Gleason, got knocked out in 2010 for the mid-sim substitute pick, went to Flatbush, Olmo Park, and now I've come home back to Gleason. I'm a shop steward of probably 13 years, probably almost 14 years, and I'm Cornell boot camp trained to help the union with all their issues. So that's all. I mean, a wide range of experience, when it comes to these issues. Think there's a lot of issues that are we're going to be working with.
So, one sec, Whittaker, can you elaborate? Because I don't know what that thing that you said, Cornell.
Okay. Cornell does labor relations training. It's these all courses that sometimes the union will go to. I took a 4-day hardcore inversion boot camp in Buffalo, New York for 4 days. And we went over contracts, grievances, discipline, all that type of stuff. So I've done, and I actually, at that training in Cornell, I actually sat across from the person who trained John Samuelson.
Oh,
So I've
okay.
actually met the person
wow.
that trained him. So
I don't know if you want to brag about that, but okay.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
Especially when you're bringing some issues.
well, issues are one thing. I mean, it's just just so you know, I know you talked about the Interline Express. That's actually separate from the BQX, which was in lower.
Okay, that's why it's different.
It's two different. It's 2 different things.
Okay, I thought they renamed the whole thing.
Yeah, they didn't rename it. It's something totally new.
That's what I thought.
It's not all above ground. It's actually mostly below ground. They're using old, abandoned train tracks.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you for that info. So when you
Yeah,
said
some-
hardcore, that's what? There's what else is there? You said you took hardcore.
We learned all about negotiations, how to price things out, how to figure everything out. You know what? How to set standards. You know what you want to do? Okay, this is what we're looking to do for the next contract. And that's unfortunately right now what I see going forward for our contract coming up is they're not planning. They're failing to planning, which is, you got to take time, to plan. But that's what, we learned that in her. I also went to training some political action training on that same trip with ASME 650. I met with people from Las Vegas, Buffalo, all different that came from political action training. Are you okay, Pete?
I'm good.
Okay.
I choked up a little apple juice.
Oh, so it's the apple juice we're blaming, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so
Robert, you say they hold on, Pete. You said that they're not preparing. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well,
They're
yeah,
not preparing.
they say that we have a thing where we're supposed to start negotiating 90 days before contract. Okay, that's fine. But where is the groundwork in the union that's going to lead up to our contract fight? You know what? They should have been doing it from like the summertime. You know what? get out. You know what? Get out and see and talk to the members. Find out what all the issues are. You know what? Research what we're going to be doing because the MTA ain't going to give us nothing for cheap for nothing for that much.
So have you spoken with anybody from the union to make such a claim like that, or you just know that off the top of your head?
Well, I know right now somebody told me this week that they were doing some training this week. I guess the leadership. I'm not sure what location they were in, but they were doing training here. Okay, but that's training. That's training for those that are in leadership, but that isn't preparing as far as, you know what are we going to do when it comes to a contract? Because the MTA doesn't want to give us nothing. They want to probably take back more from us. But
most likely, I mean, if you think about it, that's what companies do. They want as much as they can for as little.
Oh,
as
Aaron said
possible.
they're in Tarrytown. That's where that's where they're training this week. But it's everything. I think it's, you know what? Right now we have divided government when it comes to this right now in leadership. We have the division officers, Carter, and all of them. They're under one slate, and everybody else is under the old slate. So, and now
what do you feel about that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that right now?
How do you feel, and what do you suggest they do?
You know what? Unfortunately, somebody's got to step up and say, you know what? Lock them all selves in a room and check their political backgrounds at the door. You know what? I find over the last bunch of years, this union's become more about politics than it has become about its union members, and it really has. Even prior to those that got in their office this last year, it's become basically about politics. It's not about the union members.
You have any anything that proves that?
Well, you got what?
Or your opinion? Or
no.
Tell us your opinion on what you believe is happening.
Unfortunately, they're all trying to take sides. Those that are in office that got approved to the division are trying to implement new things. And those above them, where from JP, the top four, and everybody else on them, is of a different political street. Okay, so they're not going to really give in. That's why we only got calendars, new calendars, which probably a lot of other people in other divisions got already. They didn't actually arrive in Gleason until today. Yeah. It's already, 12 days when the new calendar, we should have gotten these beforehand.
Before the new year, yeah.
And the Brooklyn division had that happen. So it is divided government. In this case, divided government is now also becoming failed leadership, unfortunately.
Do you feel like the new elected officials have an uphill battle, or do you feel like they got in and they just don't care now? They just same old shit from different people.
It's a little bit of both, actually. First of all, they're fighting an uphill battle, but when you're not released and they don't have as many as release times as the last administration has, that doesn't help. Okay, but at some point, it's got to be, the excuses have to stop, and we got to just try to make it work. Because you know what? Just think of it this way: if the union was a business and we paid our union dues, that's our fee, that's our monthly fee, or whatever it is. Here it is. Could you honestly say that a lot of them in the Brooklyn division, or those that are not currently with the current leadership, getting their money's worth? I mean, the list can go on.
You can say that because that's what it is. You're paying union dues, and if you feel like it's not going your way, everybody has to speak up.
Unfortunately, in past it's not been that way, but there's just so much on our table from the bus redesign. I've been screaming about that now at division meetings going back over a year.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of response have you been getting?
They say though that it's down the road, it's down the road, it's down the road. Yeah, that's okay. It's
First,
down the
first.
road.
So
A year
Robert,
or 2 years down the road. Good.
what is it about the bus design that you brought up to the meeting and didn't tell us what the response is?
Well, they just recently started getting briefings, or getting over the last year. They've had a few, but if you remember, this should have been implemented in 2020. So
Right,
we're already
correct.
a couple of years behind.
Mm.
But for that time here that they were looking for, they should have just said, you know what? Okay, um, you're leaving our bus operators here out to dry. Never mind the public. I mean, I unfortunately see it from both views. I'm a bus operator. I'm a union member, but I'm also on a local community board, and I've been saying the same thing to them. That you know what? Usually Brooklyn, or at least especially Southern Brooklyn, Southern Queens, and Staten Island, is like the stepchild of the city. We get less services. We get less services. Well, just look at the bus redesign. Look at how many areas now are left with gaps. I mean, how many bus operators are going to get if their bus redesign goes into effect as is? Will bus operators will get assaulted because you'll be leaving gaping holes of bus service. Gaping holes. You
You
know,
mean more than they are now?
oh, it's already bad now, but
Yeah.
it's going to be even worse then because you know what? First of all, you're changing service. Well, the MTA says, "Oh, we care about the public, we care about the employees." You know what? Let's stop with that right now. That is blatantly false. They're blatantly false. They don't care about the public, and they don't care about their employees, which is unimaginable. They care about the dollar. It's what they cost them.
Right. The bottom line. That's all they really care
Exactly.
about.
But that's what it's always been about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
they're going to put our ticks as many places as they can so they can cut runs. They're going to try to make everything as straight as they can so they can run faster. What? Taking money out of operators' pockets. Well,
That Arctic is really a scam. I mean, really. I mean, I feel, and this is my opinion, I feel that's such a scam because if you think about it, you're getting one bus operator to do the job of two operators, but you're not doubling his salary. You're only giving him $1 more. So how much money do they save when they do these Arctics, man? I mean, it really is a scam. But that's my opinion.
I mean, I agree with you. But if I remember, the Arctics came in um, many years ago, even prior to Hurricane Sandy, when they got their now door into Brooklyn because they were using those for Sandy relief in Rockaway for buses. The
Yeah, I
public,
was still working during that time, so I remember Sandy. That was crazy. That was a crazy time.
it's just really crazy.
But this whole change
I
they're
know. I
doing on
know.
the buses,
Yeah.
they're not really making a lot of changes as far as times. Like on the 11, they're saving what, maybe 6 minutes, and it's like, what is it? It was like a third. It's cutting 1/10 of a mile. That's what's being cut on the 11 alone that I could talk about. On the B11, the whole redesign is only going to cut 1/10 of a mile.
Well, you look what they're doing with the 4. You look at what they're doing on the 68 slated to begin. Are you out of your mind? Not first of all, you can forget the short buses on the 68. If this goes into play, that'll be our text because they'll be taking students all the way to Kingsborough. It's just crazy. I mean, the B4.
Listen,
B
I remember the 68. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Now, Aaron says
I
that
remember
they
the
aren't
68.
adding runs or running time. Now, that's another thing. They're changing all these lines. This is the right time for them to change the paddles. They didn't
Absolutely.
change them the last time when the speed limit dropped to 25. They didn't change anything. So lines like the 68, where you got to do like 40 miles an hour just to keep up with that, and now the speed limit is 25. You just never. There's no reason why any of us on that line should be running on time. There's no right.
Just
And now with
remember to
this,
reiterate.
what's that?
Remember to reiterate. If the speed limit is 25 on the city, the bus operator is supposed to do about 10 miles per hour less than that. So
Yeah.
technically, bus operator speed limit is 15 miles per hour. But they, like you said, on lines like 68 and stuff, you got to do like 40 miles per hour just to stay on the paddle stand.
And you can't even do that
And-
because they got like a dozen cameras out there now, or more, throughout the whole Coney Island Avenue. So with this whole change
And
that they're
yet-
doing, this is the, remember we talked about the paddles some shows back too, and they said that it costs like a few $1 million just to take or put in a second.
Couple of minutes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
now,
If I remember,
That's
if
behind the
if
scenes
I
stuff.
remember correctly, they were saying it's $10 million to add a minute.
okay, I think back then, if I remember, William Rivera, he was on our show, right? Yeah, he was on our show. I think he had said something to the 87 million. But again, this is the time that they should actually change the paddles. They should do it according with the speed limit, according with this new. Well, they have to. They kind of have to change the paddles, because if they're taking stops off certain runs, they're making different turns. How can they keep the same schedule?
They're not. But like I said, they're just
Thanks, Corinne, for confirming.
actually, if it's actually 15 to 18, if you look at their paperwork from when you officially trained. But hey, I'll take the 15 to 20. But
Semantics, man.
Yeah.
no way.
But well, what percentage of our bus operators out there actually stay under the 25 mile an hour limit? Not
No,
many.
because the members aren't buying it. The members aren't. The union leadership has all been saying this and saying this and saying this. How about you? You know what? How about you organize a campaign to go out there? You know who your problem bus operators are. Go. You know what? Go out and visit them on the road. Get them out of the office. Say, listen, this is what we're talking about. You guys want money. You want this. You want that. Stop helping the MTA. I say that all the time.
Yeah, you got to
Well,
pick
yeah.
a side. You got to pick a side, either with the membership or you're with the TA, doing everything possible to help them.
Another thing is pulling out. You know what? Stop pulling out early. You know what? I understand
That's what
everybody
she
wants
said.
their coffee and all. I understand that.
Dun.
But we have to show them it doesn't work, and stop being nice to them. I
believe they know it does. They know it doesn't work.
Yes, they
The
know.
MTA
It's just
knows it
interesting.
doesn't work.
But until it goes to the point here where it really doesn't make sense for them to sugarcoat us, then things will change. You know what? The one thing out of the last contract, Barton, the things that we asked for was a 5-minute standing time at the end of the line. If I remember correctly, that was in one of our demands. It never got in that way, but that's a minimum. If they had to give you a 5-minute standing time, the schedules would just fall apart. Really,
You mean when you
They-
get to the end of the line?
get 5 minutes.
What do you
You
mean?
get 5 minutes.
I mean,
Get
right
out
now
of
they
that
give us
seat.
3.
Well, that's 3 minutes.
Am I right? Right now they give us 3. It's three
Yes,
3 minutes
it's 3 in the
contractually.
contract.
You just get off the seat. You're supposed to walk to the back and do a post trip. You're supposed to walk to the inside of the bus and the whole outside. They go you 3 minutes.
But
Let me ask you real quick, because I've been thinking about this. You probably will know about this. What do the smokers do? I mean,
I'm
you
sorry.
know, the smokers, the guys in the membership that smoke. What do you do? Because they got some people that constantly want to have their cigarette. So what do they do at the end of the line if they're running late and they only got 3 minutes where they have to do the post trip? Like, what do you do? Do you call for personal? Do you have a
Absolutely.
cigarette as you're walking around the bus? I
Absolutely.
mean, you can't get caught just having a cigarette. If you call for a personal, they expect you that you need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, listen, your health and your safety here is utmost worth. Yes, they want you to do it for safety. Well, guess what? If you have a nicotine fit while you're driving the bus because you haven't smoked, how is that being the safety of the? But I mean, listen,
And
you
no,
can.
Blunt, I know you don't smoke, but there's guys that are like,
I know, but
seriously,
guess
they
what?
need that
No,
cigarette
I
at the end
know
of the line.
I don't
They
smoke,
just
but I know
can't. They
people who
just can't.
smoke, and
They can't get to the end of the line, and then the dispatcher says, "Go ahead, deadhead to such and such," and they're like, "Yo, I need my cigarette." Now you gotta, you get
I can tell you
Yeah,
exactly what's going to happen
frustration.
with people like that.
What was that?
When they get
but
to the
take
end
it
of the line,
personal.
they're gonna smoke their damn cigarette. They're gonna smoke their cigarette. They don't care. They're gonna stare right out that bus and be like,
I mean, like I said,
they probably smoking
the,
all
me-
in one shot, but
Right?
the members haven't
Good to
poured
go.
in because there's not really a unified leadership. We're
It's
all doing their own political things. They're all doing whatever their general agendas are.
What do you
Okay,
think about a new president? Do you think he might make some changes?
I'd like to see what he does,
Mm.
but I know a shop steward did a shopgate a little bit ago about Richie Davis and saying, "Oh, just put all your fears aside," and all about Richie Davis being non-civil service in the president position. And you know what? If that's his take, that's fine. But you can't turn around and say that anybody with a civil service title, TA service, well, all TA service members are covered, but those that are civil service, okay, here is to have somebody here. If he really wanted to do away and help the MTA in their games by giving us a few dollars, okay, he could help out all his OA members. And guess what? Just merge everybody together, get rid of civil service, okay? Just phase us out. Stop hiring that, and guess what? We'll phase out. What stops them from doing that? You know what? You don't got somebody that with civil service in the president's title, and I know that Subways is civil service, so I don't know why Subways isn't worried about having somebody of non-civil service in there. I'm okay with Richie Davis, but doesn't say we shouldn't watch him. Shouldn't say shouldn't have concerns. Because you know what? It's all of our titles. And they're going to say, well, we've had presidents in the past that have been, Willie James and Sonny Hall. Okay, that's fine. But that was before 2010 when we had the layoffs, when we caused that strife, when everybody got laid off, and then civil service came back first before all those OA members came back from being rehired. That forced a division. That unfortunately, that opened up the wide hole. Yes, we're all bus operators in the system. Okay, when we should be treated all that way. That's why we got a contract. We bargain the rules together. Okay, but understand that civil service operators. The one thing that we got out of the consolidation, the only thing that we had out of the consolidation here is our civil service rights that would protect us from layoffs, because they did away with the layoff clause. They let the layoff clause sunset and didn't put it back. So we're always going to be on the threat of that. It's just going to be what it's going to be. As far as Martinez was talking about the other day about elections and OA and TA, and that's fine. But you know what? There has to be some sort of way here that we all get on the same page, okay, and understand that you're not going to violate the rights of civil service. If there's an OA member that wants to run in a TA depot, fine, not a problem. But just remember, you're being watched to make sure that you don't violate our members' civil service rights. That's the bottom line. But if you remember, I'm not sure, probably prior to you, and definitely prior to me, many years ago, OA tried to assimilate into TA service. They tried to get into NICES and failed. They tried to grandfather them in and failed many years ago. And so the pensions are never going to change. NICES will never allow that. They all have their own. They have it matched, so they wouldn't need a difference in pension. What they want is the same protections that we have. That's the only thing that's the difference between OA and TA. And listen, we all should be concerned about that. After 2010, who thought we would ever be laid off? You know what? If they're gonna cut runs, if they're gonna cut trips, then they're gonna have too many operators at some point. Then what happens? You're gonna reassign them, reclassify them somehow, instead of getting laid off? That's not fair. That's not fair to anybody. And if there was an easy way forward, the only way here is you can run an OA depot, you can run a TA depot, but you have to sign something here acknowledging those members and the people that you're going to represent, that you will protect their civil service rights. That should be, and that would stop it right there. Guess what? You signed an oath that if you're going to represent me as an OA member in a TA depot, that you're gonna protect our civil service rights. If might I say that we also lost 125th Street depot out of that. So now we technically don't have civil service in Manhattan. It's technically all OA depots. So if we really want to go back to here, give us one of those depots and make that a civil service, like 126th Street had. Okay? I understand what they voted for, but they weren't given that option. But that all brings up the animosity between OA and TA. And yes, we have to find a way. We have to find a way forward. But I think the biggest issue here is OA running in right now at the moment. OA running in TA depots because the next election is 2 years away. Everybody's making plans now. Just sign a pledge that for the people that you're going to represent, that you're going to make sure that all your members, including civil service, are maintained of all their civil service rights. Who's going to vouch for that? It's going to be in paperwork, okay? And then the fear may go away a little bit. I mean, just I don't know who put that, but
what do you suggest? Since we both know that there's like two sides right now, what do you suggest? Is this something that the depot level division chairs should be getting together to try to work this division that's happening, or who? Or I mean, we have all the guys that are on the e-board. I mean, because if there's gonna continue this head bunting that I'm better than you, then we're not gonna get anywhere. So
exactly, and that's the division.
What suggestion would you have if they're watching, they're listening, that maybe it's something that both sides could try doing to help the situation?
We need to get them all in a room and say, you know what?
Start slapping them all.
Yeah, right. When you go into the room, lock the door until you come out with a solution. Don't let them leave. You know what? Listen, everybody, we can't have this fight anymore. And now we're going to have a new fight with MTA Bus and everything else, for that matter. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that eventually. Eventually, when they, but that's actually going to the redesign is going to force the issues with OA, MTA Bus, and TA Surface, because you have OA members that actually work in TA Surface. Then you have MTA Bus, which some of their lines that now are melted into the system. Who goes where here? Who goes where? But the only thing with MTA Bus that we have to be worried about here is part-timers. We cannot afford, we cannot afford to have them in TA Surface or OA, because that'll be the end of it. We'll lose anything over 8 hours. That's taken out of your money, your pocket, my pocket, and all the new guys' pockets. It's just crazy. Safety, huh? I know you're talking about bathrooms. You know what? We need the MTA to act to give us more bathrooms, and if we don't, guess what? Tell them we'll just go to the depot. I don't care. However long it takes to go to the depot.
Yeah, that's being said around.
Depot, depot. Go to the depot. Hit your RTT. Take your personal
That's right.
drive to the
Yeah,
next train
and we've
station.
lost
I
we've
wanted to
lost
bring up
bathrooms in
something.
some lines because of issues they've had with some coworkers where
Right.
now
Let me bring this up
go ahead.
now that we're talking about this bathroom issues, and this is strictly for the bus operators out there. When you pick your line, make sure you understand where the restrooms are on your line. Take the time to figure that out because, like Pete was just alluding to, there are some lines where bus operators lost privileges because operators go in there and wreck places, you know. And so these businesses, they'll deny us the right to use their bathroom. It's their business, so they
They have the
can
right.
deny it. And we as adults, need to make sure that if you blow up the damn bathroom, clean it up. Don't leave that bathroom messed up because you messed it up for everybody else on the line. And I've had that done when I was working there. We had stores right at the end of the 35 that used to let us use the bathroom, and they paused that for a while. I don't know if they allowed it back, but they had stopped. I walk in there and they say, "Nah, you guys are not allowed." This guy came in here, he tore it up, and he left it.
They
You
stopped
know,
that. I think they stopped with the school. They stopped the Dunkin' Donuts that used to
yeah,
be up by the B8. They
yeah.
said no, we don't allow you guys because they dirtied it.
So go in there when you pick your run, make sure you know where your bathrooms are, make sure you know where that school is, because if they don't let you use it at the businesses, at least you could go to the school, the train station, or other means. But make sure you do that as part of your pick, man. All right, okay. I just wanted to get that off. I remember before when we
Um,
so
just,
yeah, Robert.
I'll just add one. But if you go to the train station, let's say in this case, you go to the train station here, unless you're told otherwise by console, make sure you go back and go back start at the end of the line. It doesn't matter how late you are, unless you're told otherwise. If not, you're considered stealing. That always.
Well, I would
What?
I would just call council back and let them know where I'm at and ask them what they want me to do.
Well, that's true. But if they don't tell you that, go start back at the end of the line. Because
Yeah, but something
yeah,
else though, like Blunt was
I
saying
wouldn't
about
I wouldn't
making
do that.
sure you know where the bathrooms are, and make sure that there are there at the times that you're driving, because we're over here talking
Right.
about we go back to the depot, but sometimes nature calls like out of the blue, and it's like automatic. Like you don't have
Right.
enough time to run back the whole line to the depot.
Right.
And this
no,
is
but
why
You
they
never
definitely
know.
have to have some kind of restroom set up. I've been saying this forever, and something as simple as
A
a
long time.
bathroom.
yeah, well,
That
unfortunately,
needs to be brought up at the
this is the sticking issue.
Yeah, you
When
talk about bringing it up, but it's like they already know this. You know, they
because why?
already know
but that's
this.
the
Because it's
thing,
going to
Pete. You
cost them
can't
money.
you can't but you can't just bring it up and let it go. You have to follow through. You guys have to
Yeah,
follow
and when
through. You
they
have
tell
to go
you
to
we're
these
gonna
mass
look
meetings.
into this,
Don't
don't
leave
stay
them with
there
that.
until you know. You
Keep
got to
going.
tell me what
Yeah,
you're gonna
you
do.
got to keep.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
remember I've been like maybe three that I remember, and the one I remember I went and I was asking the VP some question, some issue, and I took the paper when I did. Oh, all right, Pete, and so we're definitely gonna take a look at that and put it in this desk. I never got any response, nothing.
Well, that's where you got to hold your division reps, your section reps. If you give something to them, don't allow them to put it off. I understand they're busy,
Yeah, that was my
but
mistake. Yeah,
yeah, go back to them and say,
gotta
what is
gotta
this?
gotta
there
follow up.
should be some
Got to
kind of a
follow
rule
up.
that they have to follow up within a few days or a week or something. They know you
You
asked a
reaching.
question, huh? What?
You reaching, Pete. You reaching. There should be some rule for them to follow up with you. That ain't gonna happen, bro.
No, they
Come
got to
on.
follow up
You
with you. Why shouldn't they
you
follow up with
asking
you?
them. You're
A
asking them for
good
something.
union, leader should be like, oh, like, take the
It
person's
should
name.
be.
I'm
It
gonna
should be
do
like
some
that.
research in it, and I'll get
A
back to you with
a
a
good
response.
leader, a good manager will do exactly that. They will write it down. They'll say, if I don't have the questions, I will get you the question and get back to you. And they will follow through with that. But that is not the case in all the time. So you have to do your due diligence and follow up with them. If you don't keep reminding them of what they need to do, they're going to put it on the back burner because there's always going to be something else that's just a little bit more important than what you asked them to do. And they're going to forget about you. So you have to keep constantly coming back to them and say, yo, did you do this? You do this? Don't take it personal. It's a business. Did you get to this? Did you get to this? You didn't? You said last week. All right, write it down. Oh, this is the third notice. This is the third time I'm telling you. You got to make sure you let them know that you're keeping up with this. Don't accept with that, because you got to keep pushing. You got to follow up. You got to follow up.
Two things.
Then
That's what we call failed leadership. That's failed leadership. And also, not all union reps right now that we currently have, or division reps, are not necessarily leaders, but all leaders.
Right.
But all those leaders are usually strong union members and probably reps somewhere.
I get what you're saying, Robert, and I don't disagree with you at all. But you got to understand also, when you're in that position and you're working as a union rep, there's a million things coming at you. So what makes you that special that you stand out around the other things that are more important than what you're saying? You know what I mean? So you got to understand they have a lot on their plate also. So just make sure what you're saying is, if it's important to you, you're going to make sure that they understand that that's important to you. And you just keep being in their face about it.
Yeah, I
understand they're supposed to do certain things, but you can't rely on what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you have to do what you have to do for yourself to make sure everything is getting done right.
That's true. But you know what? You're saying that they have a lot of stuff. Yes. When they ran for office, knowing that they were taking those responsibilities. Okay.
They knew exactly what they was getting into, right?
Let's stop giving them extra credit for stuff they should be doing anyway. Okay, that's what we pay our member dues for.
That's fine.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
I mean, if you're not going to fulfill it, all across the union, never mind. You know what? In the local wides and everywhere, you know what? You pay your union dues. You expect, you know what? Okay. So maybe I'm not tomorrow or a couple of days, but in about a week, make sure you know what? I come and either if I come to you, don't come off aggravated or whatever.
No, absolutely not. You should.
But unfortunately, we have a lot of that in a lot of these depots and probably subways and maintenance and all that. I mean, we can't forget anybody else here that we all have that. You know what? And it's called about leadership. It's, you know what? Okay, I understand. This is what I get paid to do. Guess what? Write it down in my notebook. I have to get this answer. You know what? I know they have personal lives, and that's fine. But you also took the position as union rep knowing what the responsibility was going to be. You knew you were going to get these phone calls. Listen, if you need an AVA, okay, that could wait. You know what? But if it's something here that needs urgently here, okay, sometimes, and I know some of them do, so those that do are good. But you know what? Even on the division reps, take my phone call. I know they tell me that they get 2 phones or whatever else. Not a problem. Cell phones now have, guess what? Caller ID. Somebody called you. They didn't call you for no reason. When you have a minute, when you're not on either on your union time or your non-union time, say, you know what? Reach out to the member. Say, you know what? I haven't forgotten. I saw you called. What's up? What's doing? You know, that will get members to understand that, you know what? They're not the forgotten people. Because safety is another thing. Safety, we don't ever see the safety people on the road. DOT, all these issues here. The radio is another safety hazard. The new iPad tablet.
Yeah.
That's in a bad spot. It shouldn't even be there. It should be in somewhere that's only accessible or seeable by the operator.
I agree with that because that's why they took them all off. And what, did they put them back already?
They have them on a few buses. They're still right above the front. Not only that it's in view or whatever, but you know what? somebody's going to look up at that if they get on the bus and see red. What does red mean? It means you're late. But the public's not going to understand that why you're late. So does that now going to subject because your bus is late? Is that going to subject operators to assault?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, we need to turn around and have more cops on buses. We always
I'm sorry. Let's leave it at that because we're over our time, Whittaker. Like I said, I knew you had a lot that you wanted to say. We could definitely have you back on another show and continue, or bring other things that you want to talk about. I'm sure that there are some people that are watching this that might want to speak up on things that you brought up, but we're just gonna have to wait for another show. I'll bring you in.
Any of those people that are watching this that are in my depot or see me along, by all means, I'll be always happy to answer your questions.
But I want to ask you that just before we go, is there some last words you want to say? Is there I know that you do something that you want to plug?
Well, I have my business, which I'm a travel agent. Whittaker's No Limits Travel. I do that on the side as my side business. So that keeps me busy. If anybody needs any help with that, please call me. I have a website, and I have a Facebook page, and I have a travel group. So that's good. As far as those,
So you have
are
a
you
Facebook
running for
page?
something?
No, that actually, that election got canceled.
Okay.
The nomination.
Because you're very smart. You bring a lot of information. So I'm wondering if you ever thought about running for something in the depot level.
I ran a few elections ago, and I got blackballed after that.
Oh.
Yeah. So
wow.
That's for another show.
Yeah, that's for another show. But,
okay.
Wow.
That's why I was running in the one that's for the division chair 3 that's up here. There were 2 people that were nominated. Right now, we've both been disqualified for whatever reasons they're going to be. I'll leave that for the other person to say.
Okay.
I was disqualified because the person that nominated me didn't have, was not in good standing because he's out on comp. So I was disqualified for that reason.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing with that also. Here is, unless the member was notified, technically the member wouldn't know. So that's unfortunately what the union has to get grips on. If you're not going to notify members that they're not within good standing, because there's nobody at the division meeting checking off, oh, you can't come in here, you're not in good standing. No, you're not in good standing, you can't be here. Well, if you're going by that rules, then everything else has to go away because you didn't notify them. Okay. Well, when nominations come up, I'm on the fence whether I'll throw my hat in a second time. Maybe that once that I said, you know what, hey guys, you know what, maybe you guys should start listening to the members. You know what, you're missing a whole bunch of sort of members. As far as those bus operators that I'm talking to, get involved. The union is more than just the leaders. We're all union members. Okay? And if you're not going to be involved, it's your own fault. You know what? Get involved. You know, you got a mass membership meeting come up, January 28th. You got a division meeting the 3rd Tuesday of the month, which is next week, the 17th, at 11 or 6. You know what? Go there. You know what? If you can't see you don't get answers for certain things, go to your division meeting. Be involved. Because, you know, that makes you want to grow as a union member. My uncle always used to tell me, union is a way of life. You have to actually be willing to be a union member and not just ride the gravy train. Because if not, we're all going to be done.
All right, Whittaker. So we'll leave with that. I want to thank you for having come on the show. Definitely gave a lot of important information. I learned some things that you said also. We appreciate you coming on. And like I said before, you're welcome to come in another time and continue bringing this up, whatever issues. Blunt?
Yep. Appreciate you coming through, and get ready for the next time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. So we'll see you on the next show, bro.
All right. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you. All right, guys. So that's it for the show today. We always go over, don't we? We always go over.
Well, we gotta guess. He had a lot to say.
Yeah,
He still got more.
He still got more. I think we could go another 2 hours with Whittaker.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, I hope that you enjoyed the show. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week. Again, we will go live when anytime we have a guest. We'll go live on our Facebook pages. Otherwise, to join the conversation, you got to hit us up on our YouTube page, a YouTube channel, to Transit Misfits. When we go live.
Subscribe.
Please
hit
subscribe.
the bells to be notified.
Ding.
So just remember, guys, mass membership Saturday, January 28th. Make your schedules, take the day off or whatever. Make your plans now. Try to get to that meeting. Take a screenshot. Talk to your division chairs to set it up. Try to get there. Everybody has to go. You got to be involved. You got to get involved. Write down your issues and bring it up. And also, don't forget the TUF. It's actually started maybe last week or so. The TUF is now open for spring registration. So you want to take these classes that MTA is offering. Take these numbers down, 718-780-8700, or talk to your union chair about it. These classes that MTA are offering, man, so you can move up. Don't be sedentary. Move up. Take the number down. Go. And one last thing before we actually leave.
What we got?
Just
I got my finger on the trigger. What's up?
We still got operator in need. So if you guys, please, if you can, go to the GoFundMe here. We'll put the link in the description, man. She still needs help. So any little bit you can donate, please donate. Help her out, man. Help out a fellow operator.
If you already did, share it. Share it. Let other operators. Word of mouth. Let's stretch it out. Let's get her the help.
Get it to our goal. Yeah, let's get it to our goal, man.
All right, man. So that's it. We'll see you all next week.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you joining the conversation. It was an interesting show, and we shall see you next week.
Adios.